Hello and welcome to the second season of Let's Talk, a space by FGV where we approach relevant themes in the business world and society. I'm Karina Francisco, journalist from FGV, and today's episode is about international networking. Our today's guest is Camila Pilar. Hello, Camila.
Hello.
Camila is a former student from our MPGI SAMS program. She just recently finished her Lintes graduate program in the marketing area. And these two experiences allow Camila to live in 6 different countries in this period. So she's going to share a little bit of these 2 experiences with us today. Thanks very much for being here. And
Invitation.
nice. I want to start asking, before beginning SAMS program, what was your perspective on networking? Could you share a little bit more how you started networking outside of Brazil?
Well, to be honest, before MPGI, before doing the SAMS program or working abroad, I have never even thought about doing some international networking because I don't know, I just lived here in Brazil. That was where I was working, that was where I studied. So I had friends abroad, but nothing in terms of professional experience. So before starting MPGI, I had no networking internationally at all. But then as soon as I started MPGI and then started meeting people from all over the world, that's when it actually started a little bit. So yeah, that really helped.
Yeah, then you have the experience in which countries during your MPGI experience?
So the MPGI, I started here in Brazil. I did 1 year studying here and then 1 year abroad, which was divided between 6 months in Portugal, in Lisbon, and 6 months in Austria, Vienna. So that was really nice.
For sure. And then you started Lintes. How did this happen? From what countries did you pass?
Yeah, so basically when I was abroad finishing the SAMS program with MPGI, I wanted to stay abroad for a little bit longer at least. So I started looking for jobs there and then I found the graduate program. I applied for it. I was approved. So I started working for Lindt and I worked at Lindt in the head office in Switzerland for 9 months. Then I moved to Spain, to Barcelona, for 6 months, and then in the UK in London for another 6 months. That's
that
when
was
I
fast.
just finished. Yes, and I just finished this program. So I've been abroad for almost 3 years, let's say.
Nice. Now you are settled down a little bit here in Brazil, and then you go back in London.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you think, Camila, that international networking it requires a different approach than the one we usually used in Brazil?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think networking is basically keeping in touch with different people from different departments or different areas, different companies that you like. But then, especially during the SAMS and MPGI, you just find this really, really great network of people that really are there for each other. So if you need any support from any of those people that you studied with in any of these countries, with the SAMS program, they will be there for you. They will be there. They will help you. They will support you any way that's possible that they can. So I think that is actually really nice. But you make actually friends, and then you start the networking because people start working afterwards as well. So after the program, so that's when they start their career. That's when you get to know where they will end up. So you can also try to push a little bit harder on depending on which spot do you want. But then it's a really, really great network. I don't think it is too different than what we do in Brazil. So you just keep in touch with them. And then if you need any support or if you want any help in a specific topic, you can talk to them and they will be open to.
Nice, but okay, there's a lot of people in different countries, different routines, different hours. How did you manage communicating with all those people that are so far of you?
Yeah, well, obviously WhatsApp is there, so you can always text and then they will reply whenever they can, whenever it's possible, or you can just check where they are, check the time zones, and see when it's nice for both of you, for the two different time zones where you are, when you can speak and then talk a little bit better. So I would say it's manageable. It takes a little bit more effort because you have to wait a little bit longer. They're not available for you 24/7. So they will take a little bit longer to reply, but they're there for you. You know, it's a nice support that we have in this community. So you know that they will not answer you. They will reply to you, but then it can take a little bit longer, or you have to check a date and a time so that you can book a meeting, an online meeting, so that you can talk as well, or you can phone them. But it might take a little bit longer to get that communication going, but I'm sure that they will be there.
Because of this alliance that you have it with them because of SAMS.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you give a little idea of how many countries, how many people did you meet during the MPGI?
Oh, wow. I met, I don't know, like maybe around 300 people just through this 3 different rotations during the SAMS program at MPGI. And yeah, I think I met like around 300 from all over the world, from the Americas to Europe to Africa to Asia, everywhere. So I think that's really nice. You can meet them, and then they always end up in different places. It doesn't mean that they are, or I'm from Brazil, that I will be working here in Brazil, so I can work abroad. And then somebody from Europe can go and work abroad as well, go to Asia. So I think that's really nice. But you always have to keep track of where they are because it's quite difficult.
They're always changing.
They're always changing, and like it's a bit difficult to keep track of where they are, where they moved to. But yeah, I met so many people. It's really nice.
That's how you started. But how do you keep it?
Yeah, you have to keep it alive. You know, just keep contacting, reaching out, just mainly as friends, because we definitely started as friends, as colleagues. You know, we were studying together. So, yeah, you just have to keep in touch. But even though those people that you're not in touch anymore, because you were friends once, but it's sometimes difficult to keep in touch with everyone. I've been reached out from different people that we studied together that we didn't even talk anymore, but we were friends. And they asked me about my work. They wanted to understand a little bit more. They were thinking about applying to the same job. So it's nice, like you're there for each other as well. You help and you support, and then I can share my experience and see if that makes sense for them as well.
Nice, but that's the good stuff. Yep. What about some challenges? I imagine that you have faced some challenge that caught you by surprise. How did you handle that? Did you have an example?
I mean, definitely being around people from all over the world, it is so many different cultures that sometimes it's hard for you to understand how they work, how they, do things, what they like, what they value, what you can talk, what you cannot talk about. It is sometimes a challenge at first, but then with time and then with the experience, you getting to know people from all over, that really helps. And that really started here in Brazil on my first year, because when people came here, you start understanding a little bit more from them, and they are also trying to understand us a little bit more because they are here in Brazil, so they try to understand. They are just deep dive in this culture, and then you can just ask them questions. I would say that's the best thing that you can do, is just ask them and see if that is fine for them, then you can continue. If not, then they will say it's just like an open, honest conversation.
Like, is it okay to ask? It is okay to do that?
Yeah.
Be really open.
Would you do this or not? Do you think that's fine? Or would you change? Yeah, exactly. You have to show interest and not just go with all over you have, because sometimes we Brazilians tend to be a bit very open, and some cultures they are not. So You just have to like take a step back, think about them, just ask if that's fine, and if so, then perfect. If not, then you just adapt and adjust so that.
Yeah, but Camila, those moments can be a little tricky sometimes. So do you have some tips? What advice you have for avoiding sounding, invasive, disrespectful when it comes to others people's culture?
I would say the best thing is to ask, just not judge or not just say what you want to say, but maybe take a step back, reflect on the words that you're thinking about saying, and just restructure it so that you can just make the sentence a little bit different, which is times 10 times more difficult, which is 10 times more difficult to do it in English or in a different language than it is to do it in Portuguese. Because if you just want to change the words you were thinking of in Portuguese, it's easy. But then when you're doing it in a different language, it is a bit more difficult. But I would say that that's what you have to do. Is just take a step back, think about them, and ask if that's fine. Just don't, just take a step back and reflect so that you can just think a little bit before saying, basically. And I think you would avoid some complicated conversations that can show up later. Yeah,
people can get upset or something, so you can lose this contact.
Exactly. Or lose their confidence, which will impact especially on work environment.
Yeah, it sounds a little more difficult than you sounding to be, but do you have any example or any situation that you can put it here to show how it can be done?
I have an example, which is not mine, but I think that's very nice. So I worked at Lindt in Switzerland, and then we had a very multinational, very global team. That we had some Swiss people, we had people from abroad. It's like, so in terms of like, for example, feedback, some people expect them to be more upfront, just say what they're thinking, just take that moment. But others intend to just like, try to understand the full picture first and make the full conversation before getting into a feedback, So I had like, I know that there was a Swiss and a Chinese person, and then they were both very, very different because they are culturally different, and one would expect a conversation to go more smoothly or just slower so you can get to the topic, and then the other one is more straightforward. And that can be maybe in the beginning can cause a bit of confusion of not just mistrust, but like, why would you say, like, be so direct to me? Why would you just be so straight and, I don't know, just so honest like that? I would rather have like a longer conversation or just try to tell me throughout the time and not just like on just one call just like that. So I think that's very nice. So you must understand the person that you were talking to, where they're from, how the culture works, how they expect things to be. But you can also not just 100% change who you are, So you have to be a measure, like just balance out both of those.
Yeah, that sounds difficult again. Like, how can I know that this is culture or this is just the person, the personality? Exactly. So
that is a very tricky topic, actually. You have to balance out. You have to understand, like both will have to open up, like, and just try to understand the other a little bit more as well. Not just judge them straight away, but try to. Okay, maybe he's saying, like, they're saying this like this because they are from here and in their culture is more direct. I would expect something different, but that doesn't mean that they need to do 100% the way that I would expect. So because you have to open up some things from both sides.
Yeah, that's difficult. And
You have to adapt.
how did you say that Brazilians are seen outside of Brazil?
I've had good experience, actually, to be honest. I didn't have people judging me or doing like some, they don't, I would say that they don't really know how we work here in terms of work environment, not just people, like they think we're happy people, that we like to talk, that we're open, we're chatty. Especially I'm saying in Europe, because that's where I'm most based. That we are chatty, we may be a bit closer to Italians, I would say, if we want to compare it a little bit. Brazilians and Italians tend to go well, to be friends and do very well together. But in terms of work, in terms of delivering work, I would say that there is not much of an expectations, because they don't really know. Because there are plenty of Brazilians abroad and they are working, but still there isn't. They don't really have their minds into like, oh, Brazilians work well or not, or I think that's just test and learn, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Brazilians are bad seen in Europe, at least. I think that it's an experience that you have to test and try it out.
Nice. And you were working in a very multinational company, and there's the culture of the company either, right, that you have to adjust. Mm-hmm. How is it be the environment there, the adaptation?
Well, adapt is the word that I would say I had to use, because I worked at the same company, but in three different countries, and they had three different company cultures, because it depends on the country and the culture of that country. So I would say you have to adapt. You have to be adaptable. You have to adjust yourself to the situation, to the people that you're working with the way that they work. If they're more straightforward, if they prefer a conversation, if they would rather discuss things on a Teams call, or if they prefer to do it in person. There are some things that you have to adjust, but then I think that, at least in my experience, they were very, very welcoming. So it was very easy to adjust and to adapt, because I actually also made friends there. So that was really nice, because you can get to know them a little bit more, not just in the work environment, but also outside, and how they work, how they function, what they like, what they do outside of work as well. So I think that's really nice of this experience. But I would say soft skills, it's something that you learn a lot. At least in my experience, I learned so much soft skills. And that is something priceless, to be honest, having that experience, and worked with so many people from all around the world, and meeting very, very nice people, very nice, professionals. Mm-hmm. That was really good. But you have to adapt. You have to understand how they work, how they function, and communicate as well. You have to be open and be honest as well, because if you don't like something, or if you're questioning something, you have to be open, be honest, but also in a respectful way, which is not different than here than in Brazil. But then there is that trickier part, a little bit more difficult, because you're not doing your mother language, and they have different cultures, they think differently.
Mm-hmm, totally. And you started with MPGI, but you have other advice to how to start an international network for who is looking for it?
You have to communicate. You cannot start everything online, I would say. It's much easier when you're in person, and then you get to really know them, the person that you're talking to, and not just the professional, not just the person behind the company, like that's representing the company.
Sure.
I would say that, which is very difficult if you're not there, or if you don't have, if you don't have any possibility of going to the place and just having a in-person meeting, or meeting them here. It's tricky, but I would say the best thing is to do it in person so that you can meet them, and then you can have quality time, a chat together.
Real connection.
A real connection, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a good tip, I guess. And you are starting international career, and you will keep going, right? Not coming back to Brazil. How is it?
Not for some time, yes. The plan is to still stay abroad and, continue my professional work and life abroad. And that's the plan for now. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll come back. But for now, the plan is to stay out and just continue that, because I've been really enjoying this. It's been really great experience. So
attached to London, or
yes, for now London. So I'll be going back to London soon, and the plan is to stay there.
Nice, Camila. And one last question, like, MPGI helped you a lot with the international network, but what else can you say to us that was really important to you in this experience?
I would say that just meeting people outside as well, where you intend to work, where you intend to go, that really helps, because that helps you build some sort of community when you're outside, because it's very difficult for you to live abroad and have no family, no other support, or your friends, they're all back home, back in Brazil, but then you're just there, you just moved, so you don't know anybody, which is very, very difficult as well in the process. So SAMS also helped me build this community. So everywhere I go, there is someone that I already met during the process, or they have friends as well, so that you can start building that community and you don't feel alone as well. And then you can basically start spreading this networking, because everybody knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, and then you can reach anywhere.
So thank you, Camila, so much once again for coming.
Thank you for the invitation.
Nice. And if you want to learn more about MPGI SAMS program, you can do it so through our website, social media, or by contacting our admissions office. See you next time.